full-time student and also work a full-time job. You need to find ways to balance both of them because I'm sure you're stressed out like myself, who goes to Columbia College and also works a full-time job. I'm going to give you some tips on ways to balance both of those. One way to balance work and school is through organization. Planners is a great way to stay organized. According to the Professional Learning Board, planners provide an easy and creative method for students to take notes of their commitments and deadlines. I'm going to go ahead and pass around my planner real quick, and I want you to go ahead and look at the color coding that is in it. My classes have a certain color, I have each class a different color, and my work schedule is a different color. Also take note of how I have different things crossed out or check marked. The reason behind that, according to Francisco Saez, whenever you recognize a task or a project is completed through crossing them out, adding a check mark, your brain releases a thing called dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for your happiness, feeling of accomplishment, and that's what you need whenever you finish an assignment to keep that motivation up for you to keep moving forward. Another way to stay organized outside of the planner is through files and folders. A good example of why files and folders are important is if you compare it to a grocery store. According to Easy Computer Solutions, they compare a grocery store, the aisles, how they have the different numbers, what's going to be in the aisle. You know if you need to go in and get spaghetti sauce, you know where to look. Same thing goes whenever you're trying to find an assignment, trying to find a deadline. Your files and file folders are there for you. So as you see with my file and my folders, they're color coded again, and I can pull my homework, I can pull my syllabus, anything that I might need for school as far as work goes. I can pull different work times, anything that I may need is in there. And I actually spend Sunday evening restocking that. So I know this is the homework that I have due for this certain week. Whenever it's accomplished, then I know, okay, I've done all my homework, I can take a day for me, or I can go ahead and work ahead. Whatever you might want to do, you can physically see that in your file and your folder. Outside of organization, study habits is very important when balancing work and school. One way to do that is through audio recorded notes. What I personally do, what I'd recommend is I record myself reading the notes, and then I have those in my phone. I can play them on my aux cord, on my way to work, leaving work, during breaks, whenever I might have time to hear that information again. That's what they're there for. Apple suggests if you have an iPhone, opening the Voice Memos app, you click the red button to record it, and whenever you're finished recording, you can click that red button again and it's going to automatically save to your phone. Outside of audio recordings, you need to study whenever you have time. I know everyone has different work schedules. For example, I work 6:30 to 3:30, so that morning study time is out of the picture for me, but I do have an hour-long break, so I can use that time to listen to my audio notes if I need to look at something visually, or I can get caught up on some homework, so then maybe I'll have some free time in the evenings for myself. Also, I have weekends off. I know everyone wants a personal day if they can get one. For me, I never do homework on Saturdays. That is the day for me, my family, and my friends. And Sundays is back to homework. So you can kind of look at your work schedule, again, go back to your planner to know when you have open time. And that's whenever you can figure out what free time you actually have. Outside of your study habits, you need to find a way to contain stress. One way to contain stress is through exercise. According to the Mayo Clinic, physical activity stimulates various brain chemicals that leave you feeling happier and relaxed and less stressed out. Whenever I say exercise, people might think that you need to go run a marathon, but exercise can be playing your favorite sport. You could go outside and walk your dog if you have one. That's an activity that I really like to do. And the same thing as crossing off your notes, it's going to release that dopamine that's going to make you feel happier and accomplished. Having a good support system is another great thing. I know I have plenty of good friends that are also in school like you all, and we have our homework nights. That's a great thing to do. The Higher Education Research Institute at UCLA stated college freshmen spend 66.2% of their time socializing with friends while only 38.4% of that time is studying or doing homework per week. So you take that statistic, and if you can combine doing homework and studying as well as hanging out with your friends, you're bunching that all into one, and you're going to feel a lot more accomplished, and it's going to be a good way to balance both. You can always go and talk to a healthcare professional as well if you feel like that stress is something you can't manage. Throughout this speech, you've learned tips of how to balance work and school, and you know that using a planner is a good way to stay organized. You also know that files and folders is another great way. You can see what's done and you can get prepared. You also know that having good study habits is important. You can use the audio notes, and you also know that containing stress is very important. You can do that by exercising, having those study groups we talked about, and you can always seek a healthcare professional. I want to go ahead and thank you all for your time, and I hope you figured out some tips to help you balance both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hiya.